I am homeless in the threatening that I know who I am. That means I stated who I am, but I'm still deceased right here, and I don't see myself fully. I see a little here and there. What's wrong with it is I need to move myself out of the door locking, and I know who I am in that event, but I would be asleep. That means I am asleep, knows who I am, and I move the creation that way. But you are watching me while I'm sleeping from the outside of this door locking. And tomorrow I'm supposed to receive a delivery of food between 5 and 7 p.m., 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. from maybe Smith's supermarkets, maybe. I need the delivery, but I don't need the threatening that you're coming in here to interfere with my sleeping and myself deceased out of the door locking because you think I can't afford to pay your charges. I don't afford to pay your charges because your charges are not due to myself ever. And you're not due to press charges on myself because you don't know not to press charges on myself. This you need to be in jail and prison because you don't know how to be yourself. You don't know how not to press charges on myself. You don't have someone to tell you not to do that, who is supervising that you're not alone with the food. You don't know how to be in jail in place of being a delivery driver. And I do need the food anyway. That means I need someone who would give it to me because it's mine to myself. And I don't afford that you don't have that in an order, not of everybody who's not myself, to yourselves and to myself. I just don't agree with what you are and don't have time for that anymore. And there is one more threatening tomorrow. I just don't want to answer 2 or 4 with myself deceased because it's true that I just don't know or care about what you think about the food. It's not your food. You can think about it never. Go to jail and prison so you don't think about the food, and you don't know how to go to jail and prison on the point that you don't think about any of all of the possible food in superstores or in restaurants or whatever you have in dispute in other keys like car keys and house keys. This cookie dough has been sitting out too long. I was waiting to eat it after I had some things I didn't want to eat in place of dinner. So I was going to eat this for hunger, but I'm not hungry at the moment, so I can put it back in the fridge. But it's been sitting out long enough for me to throw it away, and I need someone to bring me some cookies, cookie dough, or something that I would want to eat instead of this. And then you go to jail and prison for that reason. And that means you don't know how to go to jail and prison on all the points. And I'm not impressed with how hard you have threatened me that I'm going to go to jail if I threaten you. If I threaten you, I'm going to go to jail. This you threatening yourself because I alive you. You don't alive me when you do that. You don't alive me when you threaten me. Well, if you have something wrong with you interiorly and you have to very quickly do something wrong against yourself to communicate with the God within yourself that you don't want to be in your genitals anymore, you don't owe that to me specifically, that you offend myself specifically because this public is full of strangers. How do you know who I am amongst the strangers? You know who I am when you owe me money, but you don't know who I am amongst the strangers. And you know who I am when you need to charge me money, but you don't know who I am amongst the strangers. Approximately, you just know that I'm not an animal. I'm not going to bite you. I'm not going to jail for you. Well, what are you going to do about all the time you've been wasting? And look at how God has been holding alive this way because he's deceasing myself in the threatening. But I'm not supposed to see it because he's doing that anyway. I could just sit around and eat. But I can't control that you move everything that moves in my space. How do you even know where I am? I'm full adult height. I can bank myself. I can do everything for myself at my height. You have so much interest in the time it took me to grow my height between the size of a 3-year-old until I was 18 years old and I left my parents' housing. I left my own house, and between 18 and 48, that's 30 years, you've been chasing around myself as some kind of a hypocrisy that I thank my parents for my childhood, and that I need to fuck you for my life. I need to fuck you and thank you. I have to bless me and thank you. I have to praise God and thank you. I have to put your genitals in my mouth and thank you with my same mouth. You want me to cry that I am myself? You want me to be sorry that I am myself? And I'm sorry that I'm not yourself. And thank you for all the food. You want me to wish that I am yourself, and I can't be because I am myself, and you have something that belongs to me, to myself, and you want me to thank you for myself that you didn't do what to me in public, because you're not in prison for the threatening. It would be threatening to you as well. It can't be a back and forth unless it's in a prison with deceased address and we are under the same gun. And I am not going to jail for you. That is all I can do about your anger problem. I can be in the public. I cannot be in a jail. I can be in my house, but I can't be in there if you're in there. You're not doing my house, you're doing a prison. You're not doing public, you're doing a prison. I am not in prison is how you can go to prison and figure that out. You can't expect me to go to prison because you don't want me to threaten you that you're not myself while you are talking right to me. I am not yourself to yourself. I'm not going to thank you for that.